I just forgot to hit the record button. So here we go. I've just given an introduction to who I am. I don't know if you want to just do it again then. I'm a parent, a teacher, a wife, and I've had lots of life experiences. And I'm welcoming everybody here today because I'm guessing you want to hear about the way you can change your negative mindset to a more positive mindset so that you can have a more relaxed life and you can release that old stress and negativity and anxiety and move into that lovely sense of confidence in who you are and build your self-esteem. So going back a number of years, quite a number of years, I was teaching. I had a new job. We just bought our house. We were getting married. We were married. We had a family just started on the way. And I got news that I was to move from the position that I was in to another school. I didn't particularly want to move. I was settled where I was. I was happy where I was. And now I was being uprooted and it was uncomfortable for me. It meant I was going to have to start to get to know a whole new range of people and places and things and all over again. Plus, this time round, I was pregnant and our first daughter, and now I had more than just myself to contend with. So there was a lot of negativity running. Didn't want to do it. How am I going to cope? This is not fair. Why is it me? And all of that was going on. So at the time, I embarked on mindfulness classes, and I began to realize that once a week, by attending those classes, I could calm my mind, and it just really balanced my energy for the week ahead. It was later on then that I got more curious about how does the mind work? How can we actually program our own mind? And that's when I studied under Susan Wallace in the Hypnosis Academy of Ireland to go on to become a hypnotherapist. And I am now also qualified as a hypnosis-focused traumatologist. So those big emotions, difficult thought patterns, I'm used to handling them with people. So did you know this little fact? That we have over 60,000 thoughts per day. I mean, that's a huge volume of thoughts. And the actual thing about it is most of those thoughts, we repeat them day in, day out. But then oftentimes we expect to try and get a different result in our lives. But we're just doing the same old thing, doing the same thought patterns over and over again. So where this comes in, then we need to rewire those thought patterns. We need to train the mind to think more positively and let that become the automatic go-to thinking process. And in that way, we can, especially through the use of hypnotherapy for it, we can create real and lasting change in people's lives. There's another little fact that I think is really interesting, and I'd like to share it with you. We need to have 3 positive experiences for every negative experience so that we can build our resilience. But here's the thing. Most of us latch on to that negative experience and dismiss all the other wonderful experiences, the positives, the good. Whereas really we need to turn that around and focus on all of the good experiences in our lives to lessen the impact of a negative experience. So the founder of positive psychology, a man called Martin Seligman, he said, not me, he said, and I'm quoting directly from him, happiness, optimism, and resilience are skills that can be learned. And that to me is just, and like, it's just fantastic because that means we're not stuck in that old thought pattern and old thinking way. We can learn our new way of thinking. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what they call the negativity bias. Right. So the mind is wired to focus on negative thoughts. So negative thoughts, they can be self-limiting beliefs, they can be emotional blocks, they can be negative habits, but they are the negativity bias. And why do we have a negativity bias? Well, our brains have evolved down through the years. And so to prioritize our well-being, we have always had to be on the lookout for danger, threatening situations, predators. So that kind of thinking has us always on red alert. And it is creating that sense of be aware for challenges, be aware for setbacks, be aware for criticisms. That's how we're operating today, based on that negativity mindset. So, like, for example, if you got feedback at work from your colleagues or your boss, and you got 5 or 6 lovely positive pieces, but you got one negative piece of feedback, the chances are that that's the one that's going to register in the mind. That's the one that the people tend to fixate upon. And then that creates this unnecessary, and I really mean unnecessary, doubt, anxiety, and self-criticism. So we need to be able to roll that back in. How does that affect our daily lives if we behave like that, if we soak up that negative bias? Well, over time, focusing on the negativity, it becomes our automatic go-to. Straight away, we're into, I can't do that. I'd never be able to do that. Sure, I'm awful at that. Reinforcing negative beliefs and about ourselves and about the world, and the beliefs that they tend to lead to our emotional blocks. There are limiting thoughts. They create those unproductive habits, and they make it challenging for us to be proactive in our lives, to stay motivated, and to really enjoy our lives fully, because the negative bias is running away, ticking away in the background. Now, there are 4 things that we need to be able to do to challenge our focus and to be able to factor in and move from the negative, move to the positive. So the first thing we need to be able to do is to identify our limiting beliefs. So when you just become aware of something, that you need to be careful, you need to watch what you're thinking through your mind. And when you become aware of a thought, for example, I can't do that, straight away, you've itemized and identified a limiting belief. So now you're in the position that you can do something about it. So you need to build those sustainable type habits. You need to just be able to get in there and say, it's okay, I'll tackle this just one step at a time. Because one step, even on a staircase, one step is all you can manage at any one time. So you break it down. So you identify the thought, the limiting belief, and then you begin to build positive habits. So I just tackle one piece at a time. And this will help to build your resilience, that if there is a setback along the way and something crops up again, you can go, okay, so I've done this much before and I've got to this point before, and this is okay. Now I know where I'm starting again. And then you can just at that point become more familiar with doing that. And that helps you to let go of the past experiences, because then you pull on the proof that you now have, that you know step by step you can do whatever you want to do. So all of these things need to be taken and factored in, and they can be difficult to do all on your own, because you're trying to watch the thoughts, monitor them, build something more positive in, and it can be difficult to do it on your own. But mindfulness does help. Mindfulness is that conscious practice where it allows people to just observe and to manage their thoughts and their emotions in the real time, just as it's happening. And by managing mindfulness, or by practicing your mindfulness, you begin to have a greater sense of awareness. And then you can catch those negative thoughts before they spiral off out of proportion on you. So if you did an example, as somebody said that they'd never be able to finish the project that they were working on. So with mindfulness, you can see that thought, you can look at it, you can observe it, you can watch it from a distance somewhat, and without judgment, just acknowledging that that thought is there, but that's not reality. That's just a thought. And I'll repeat, that is not reality. And so then you can refocus on a more empowering perspective then and change out that thought into, oh, I'm just going to do it, like I said, one step at a time. And that then just brings you right in to that space and time in yourself, into that moment. So breaking negative thought patterns, for me, the most effective way of doing it, strongest, easiest, quickest way of doing it is by using hypnosis. Hypnosis, not just for fun, hypnosis in the form of hypnotherapy by a qualified, specialized hypnotherapist. So hypnosis works by getting right down into the subconscious mind. And that's where those automatic negative thought patterns, they're all stored and they're all reinforced in the subconscious. So then when you're under hypnosis, which is that lovely, relaxed, deep state, the conscious mind just relaxes away because it's getting a little rest for itself. It can just relax. And at that point, then we can directly access this subconscious mind. Going there to reframe and to replace those old negative patterns by replacing them with positive, supportive, uplifting beliefs. So I once had a client who came to me and they were just so worried about not being able to do something. They were just like, oh, but I'm no good at that, Helen. I wouldn't be able to do that. It was a young student who was in her first year in college, in fact. Let's call her Sarah. And she was coming because she had now been asked, she had so much of her study done. And now the next part was she'd have to stand up and make presentations in front of the rest of her peer group and with the lecturers looking on. Now, this girl loved her study. She loved her topic. She researched it. She did all of the work. She had all her preparation work done. She had everything submitted well in advance. But when it got nearer to the time where she was doing her presentation, just such anxiety came up within her. And when she stood up to do the presentation, she was shaking. Her hands were shaking. Her voice was shaking. And she'd look and then she'd just have to look at the ground and then she'd just stop speaking. She was just completely consumed with stress and anxiety. So by doing the relaxation with her in the hypnotherapy, immediately she was able to access that lovely deep state of relaxation. There is no worry in there. There is no criticism in that lovely clear space. And once we got into that space, we could take out those old patterns that she was running as in, I can't do this. I'm no good at this. My dad can do it. My sister can do it. Everybody else can do it, but I can't do it. And I just thought, right, okay, we need to get in. And we did. 3 sessions later, she reports back to me that she has been up there. She has done her presentation. She got a tiny bit nervous before the presentation, which of course was good because that sharpens her ability. And that was all she needed, was just a little bit. She got in there and did her presentation. She eyeballed her audience. She looked towards her lecturers and she said she couldn't believe the transformation and just the confidence in herself that she was able to do all of that. And what we had actually done was released the negative thought patterns and the beliefs that she already had. And we took them out, we reframed them, we reinstated the lovely positive mindset that yes, you can do it and you will be very good at it. And that became her new mindset, her go-to default setting. So there's just so quickly, those mindsets can be shifted by using the power of hypnotherapy. So unlike, say, conscious affirmations or mindfulness and just other, things, the hypnotherapy actually reaches the root of the situation. It reaches the root in the subconscious mind, and then it transfers out those old programs so that the new, positive, confident upgraded program then becomes the automatic response, which is then planted into the subconscious mind. So it's very beneficial to be able to transfer that mind into the negative mindset into a positive mindset. And it is the work that I absolutely love to do. So the mechanics of hypnotherapy itself, well, what happens in a hypnotherapy session? The first thing we do is I'll get the information from my client about what is the issue at the moment, what's bothering you right here, right now. Just take a moment, even yourself, to think, well, what is the situation that is creating stress or anxiety or worry or whatever that negative pattern is? What's the issue? What's causing it? And once we get to know that, then I'll bet that you have a way that you would like to feel, the way that you would like to think. Then we start calling these ones out. So it's like we go through that interview process at the very start. So the 4 stages then of hypnotherapy is beginning with relaxation. We always do a lovely deep relaxation so that that conscious mind can just drift off. Let it go. It's just constantly working on your behalf, and think of it like you're letting it just drift off to have a nice little mini holiday break while you're relaxing in the chair or on the Zoom call in front of me or beside me, wherever that may be. That's just then allowing that space then in your subconscious mind just to open up very gently, very easily in that lovely, safe, secure environment. And that to me is really important, that you can just become calm within yourself, relaxed within yourself in that safe, secure space. And I always like to make sure that my clients feel that they are in good hands when they're working with me. The second thing that we need to do during the session of hypnotherapy is that I begin then to reframe the thought patterns. I do a lot of the talking during the hypnotherapy session. You get to relax. I get to chat. It's a good deal. And so I talk directly to the subconscious mind, and I get the thoughts, those old patterns, just gently release away. And then I bring in those lovely new patterns, help start reframing the thought patterns, replacing the negative self-beliefs with constructive, empowering beliefs, confident beliefs. And in that space, then we can really center ourselves and settle those into space and into place within the mind. And while doing that, it's as though the body just seems to pick it up as well. The cells in the body just seem to run with that thought pattern as well. And the final thing that happens is that there is sustainable change, long-term positive change, because once the patterns are rewired, they become your new default system. And they're the ones that create the long-lasting positive shifts within the mind system. So I told you about that lovely young girl called Sarah who was doing her presentations. That was one of those lovely stories. But this one is just something that happened, and I'm going to share it with you because this really made me laugh. This didn't happen in the hypnotherapy session, but it really, I suppose it made me laugh because it happened in an ordinary everyday life situation for somebody, but it's actually how hypnosis works. 2 young students, not earning a lot of money, they're on work experience, learning and earning a little bit of money. They'd finished their day's work and they decided they would go for a sea swim before they'd head home to cook something for themselves. So they weren't really thinking about an awful lot other than just going from where they were to do the sea swim and then to come back and get something to eat. They headed off, and this is not a lovely warm country. This sea was bitterly cold. So they went to the beach, they went for their sea swim, had the sea swim, but having had a day's work and the amount of energy that they used up, having had that sea swim, when they came back out, they said they were absolutely weak with the hunger at that stage. They were starving. And all they could think of was food. There was no other thought in their head other than food. Oh, I need food. The stomach was needing food, their body was needing food, their mind was needing food, and food was the just, nothing else. So as they left the beach and headed back, they thought, first place we come to, we're getting food. We're not going home to cook. So they drove on and they saw this place and they thought, oh, that looks nice. Let's go there. And as they pulled up, they didn't see the queues that where there was these great big, huge, big, expensive cars, people with golf trolleys and things. They didn't see any of that. They were food, nothing else, food. They headed into the restaurant and they were met by somebody with a lovely draped towel over their arm. But they didn't question that. They just thought food. Here they were in tracksuit bottoms and hair dripping wet. Literally, the drops were coming from it. And they just walked right into the restaurant, sat upon a seat with the drips of water coming down. And a lovely gentleman came beside them with a beautiful white towel over his arm, offering to take their order. Of course, they looked at the menu, and thought, the price of this. They were two students. They'd only come from a sea swim. So they ordered one thing on the menu. And as soon as it came, they devoured it and they left. Now, the funny part of the story was they went to work the next day and somebody said to them, well, what did you do yesterday evening, girls? Did you do anything nice? And they said, oh, yeah, we went for a swim and we were starving, stopped at this restaurant. And everybody started laughing when they named the restaurant. And they said, we were like wet hair dripping, just thrown together, old clothes. And they had walked into a Michelin star restaurant and they were treated beautifully. It completely blew their mindset that they now know that they can go anywhere they want and have something beautiful and they can just think and go. What really amused me was the people they work with who would be on good salaries. They'd never ever been to that restaurant because they couldn't imagine themselves going there. And within 1 month, quite a number of those people working in that restaurant or in that business, they went and treated themselves to a Michelin star meal because it had shifted their mindset as well. So the point to my story here is sometimes things just happen and we open our minds and it shifts on our behalf. But whether you do it naturally or through mindfulness by watching it, or whether you actually get help to do it, like through hypnosis, here's the real beauty. It has an impact on other people around you. It can also lift their energy, their thinking, so that their mindset also shifts. So going into that lovely deep relaxation, it's like the rest of the stuff drops away. The mindsets that the girls could have had about where they were going, they couldn't even go into them because the only thing they could think was food. So the mind had locked in to one thing. We replicate that in hypnotherapy by allowing the other things to drop away, but by taking the mind into relaxation. And it is at that point that change within the mind system happens, and it has an ongoing effect and a knock-on effect on other people around us. So instead of me just continuing to talk about hypnotherapy and what it's like and how amazing it is, because it is amazing, the results that I see on a daily basis are incredible when the mind shift happens, and how it helps people to move forward is just incredible. But right here, right now, I'd just like to take you through a little taster session. Because, I mean, that's really how you begin to get to know what it's like after all, isn't it? A little taster session of what a hypnotherapy session feels like and how you can imagine yourself having that really lovely life. In fact, you could call it living the life of your dreams. When you move away and move out of the negative balance, moving into the positive mindset. So if it is safe for you to do so, and again, I'm back to safety and security. If it is safe for you to do so, allow your eyes just to gently close on down and allow yourself to just rest into your seat or wherever it is that you are resting right now. And just allow your mind to imagine a beautiful candle of relaxation. And that candle is burning brightly, flame flickering and dancing. It's like it's got these colors moving through it. There could be oranges and reds. Maybe you're aware of blues and greens, those lights flickering on that candle flame. Or maybe you just see the whites and the yellows. But it's so soothing just to focus on that lovely flame. And you become aware that the heat from that flame causes the wax to melt and to soften just around the base of the wick. And as it does so, that wax trickles over the side of the candle, trickles right down along the side of the candle, and flows right in around the base of the candle as it takes the shape, the base of the candle, and the candle holder itself. And in many ways, you're like that beautiful candle of relaxation. And that lovely flame within you, that brightness, that's like your subconscious mind. Warm and bright and fresh, dancing through time and space and age. And your muscles, they're just like that lovely, soft, warm wax. And so right now you're just melting down, melting into that lovely seat that you're seated on. That seat is like your candle holder. It's supporting you. It's keeping you safe and secure. And so right now, there is nothing that you have to do and nowhere that you have to be. You're just taking this time to relax, renew, and recharge. And maybe you can just think of a time when perhaps you found it difficult to do something, feeling somewhat negative. And let's do a little work to turn that around right now. So I say to you today, the key to your success is confidence. Confidence in yourself. Confidence in your ability to do whatever you truly want to do. Confidence that you can and you will accomplish your goals through the power of your mind and through the power of your own thoughts. You see, what you tell yourself, that has the greatest of power over your life. And the way that you feel, it determines to a great extent the health and the well-being of your physical body. Because when you're anxious and unhappy, your body, your mind, they just simply cannot function fully. And what you tell yourself, it has an enormous impact on your life. So tell yourself that your mind and body are relaxed and calm, and that you are at peace with everyone around you. And because you are calm and at ease, you will have greater energy. Your mind will be clearer, sharper, and more focused. And as a result of this, you will see problems, you'll see them in perspective, and you will be able to handle them easily, efficiently, effectively, and confidently. And these things that you are now telling yourself, they will begin to affect your life more and more. And they will affect the way that you feel about yourself and the way that you feel about your life. And consequently, they will affect every aspect of your life in a very positive way. So right here, right now, just allow your mind to imagine you doing the thing you want to do, being the confident person that you know you truly are within yourself. And allow that picture, that feeling, to get stronger and stronger and stronger within you now. And so it becomes your new system within your mind. And so right now, with that lovely feeling of well-being and confidence and can-do, I'll count you right back to the surface. And this feeling, this can-do feeling and thought will come right back to the surface with you to help you going forward in your life. So coming back again then, from 5 to 4, 3, mind and body just perfectly relaxed. 2, more aware now of your space right here in the room, exactly as you are in the seat. And 1, just allowing your eyes now to open and just wriggle your fingers and toes and welcome back to everyday awareness. So that, my friends, is a little taster session of what a hypnotherapy session is like. But when I work with my clients, the work is very, very specifically designed to help with whatever that one issue is that you've been working on. And if you would like more help to really get in there, really get that situation to come right round on your behalf, honestly, I would be absolutely delighted to help you. I love to see the change that happens for people in their lives. So we're coming to the end of our session here today, and we've covered many things, talking about the way the negative mindset can really be moved and shifted and brought into positive mindset, and that can be banked. We mentioned doing it by using mindfulness and just being aware. But as you can see, the gentleness, the lovely comfortableness of hypnosis, and that deep relaxation to get that work done where you can just relax and it seemed like just let it happen for you. Well, to me, that's just a no-brainer to let that happen on your behalf. And I would be delighted, as I said, to help you with that. So I'm happy to meet you on a 30-minute discovery call, just if you want to chat to see if there's something I can help you with, or even to sound out what's going on in your life. That's fine too. And you will find me on www.helendoyletherapy.com. And in my website there, you can book in for a free discovery call and just pop in. We can meet on Zoom and we can chat. So I'm open for work here in County Kildare in Ireland, if people want to travel to me. And I'm also open on Zoom over the internet, and that works really effectively well also. So yes, so I hope you've enjoyed these few pointers here today and the little mini session. And as I said, it is a taster session. There's so much more happens when we work together on a one-to-one appointment. So feel free to book in for one of those discovery calls, and I will be looking forward to speaking with you. So for now, I shall leave it at that. Does anybody actually have any questions for me, or is there anything anybody wants to check? I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'm going to leave it at that then for today. So we will be back in 2 weeks' time with our next event. And on that one, we will be talking about things to do with insomnia and how we do need a good night's sleep as well. And it always benefits us, keeps our energy levels up. We'll be talking about that in 2 weeks' time. So for now, love to you all and talk to you then. Bye for now. Okay.